My name is Jibala Dabo. Keep watching Mid-Morning Show.
Okay, good morning. It's a one.
Pilar Ayo. All right, Mr. Ayodeji Ogedengbe is a musician, and we welcome you wholeheartedly onto the program, the Mid-Morning Show. So I said Ogedengbe.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I'm like,
yes, no.
How did you know?
Is it Ogedengbe that everybody knows?
Okay, that is
their... Kaka.
Great warrior. So. Wow. So are you can you attack?
Well, maybe in some aspects, not all.
Okay.
Okay, welcome once again onto the program, the Mid-Morning Show. Okay, we understand that you are a banker. Yes. So I'm just wondering, so why music?
Okay, for me, music was inborn because my mom used to be in the choir all through. So I was born into the choir, so to say. So I grew up in the choir, and it was almost automatic for me to, just go in that line. So
okay, Mom C inspired you.
When did you actually start singing? When did you start singing?
Maybe, let me say from my secondary school. That was when I discovered myself, joined groups, had groups and all of that. So by the time I finished secondary school, I joined Lady Evangelist Lara Adekunle, Mama Divine Solution, a renowned gospel artist. So I backed up for her for about 4 years before I started my own group in 2003.
And
that was the journey.
Reading through your profile, diploma in computer tech, accounting, BSc economics, finance and accounts, and working in the banking sector. And I'm wondering, all this haven't taken away, the love for singing or doing music.
Yeah.
How did you manage to, keep up all these years?
Music is, for me, it's the passion. It's you see that thing you do without stress, with ease. I think it's good to stay on it. Music comes to me with so much joy. I do it with passion. It's my passion.
Banking is stress?
Yeah, banking, let me put it like banking is my career because my dad is a retired banker for years. So it's like me just combining the two stuffs together. Exactly. So as I speak with you now, in my church, myself and my mom are still in the same choir.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, and being a manager in the bank as well, it's something my dad is proud about. So I create time for all of this, and it's fulfillment for me. That's it.
Okay, they say that music is the language of the spirit. How so?
Right.
How does it apply to you?
Okay, for me, I do a lot of things with music. What I mean is, when I'm downcast, that is what pulls me out. And everybody around me knows that. In fact, a lot of times, when I can't even pray, as humans, we go through things, my heart is heavy. Once I switch it to music, I get excited. Anytime they say they're going to this place for this, my heart just begins to boil for joy. That's the thing. So I believe it's really, really the language of the spirit. Because, you can't connect how music just takes people out of their normal self. A lot of people that sees me outside say, you're this gentle, so how come? When they see me on the mic, they're always like, okay, wait, what just happened? The spirit just came in to do the work. So that's it.
So do you write your songs
yourself? Most times I write my songs. And when it comes to inspiration, it comes to me with my day-to-day interaction. And most of the times when I'm alone and quiet, and also when I listen to pastors, listen to messages, it just comes. And we try to put it down and work on it to make it music.
Okay.
It means you do strictly gospel music.
Yes, gospel.
Because now I'm always having difficulties in, differentiating some gospel music from soul music. What's the difference between gospel and soul?
Gospel majorly, all we are doing is it must glorify God. That's
all the other ones don't.
That's they might, but like the soul music you talked about now. Let's take a look at love songs. Love songs are not, it's not vulgar.
Yeah.
We need to share love as even God told us about it to do. So if you do love song, it's not, it's still maybe soul, but when we are saying gospel music, if you define it as gospel, it must glorify God. It's directly to God.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So what do you say about, there's this idea now that there are gospel ministers and there are gospel entertainers. So what can you really say about this?
Yes, we have to. The music graduated to that point. It wasn't so before, but we discover that even Christians will go to party now. Even Christians will want to, relax, have some fun and all. So we had to find a way to move that there, and thank God for some of the artists that have actually put out such kind of music to be able to switch it. However, I want to say this: there is a thin line in between that part. So any gospel artist must be able to differentiate it. I also sing at wedding receptions. I sing at parties, housewarming, and all of that, and I do concerts as well. But over time, I've learned with my experience that you must be careful with that thin line so you don't switch over.
How can you differentiate? When would you know that you've got to that point?
The thing is this: every of our utterance must be guided. Every of our utterance must be guided, because it's from the abundance of the heart that the mouth will speak. So even if you're at parties, you must be careful what.
So we are looking at the utterances now. It's not the vibes. It's not the way they move to the music. It's not the way they act in the course of playing music and all that. It's just the utterances. That's the thin line we're looking at.
Yes, that's the thin line.
The lyrics.
The lyrics, because one just need to be careful there. Else, you discover that it will counter the definition of the gospel music.
Okay. When it comes to gospel ministers and gospel entertainers, there's been this controversy, people saying, people trying to belittle the gospel entertainers, trying to say, we have gospel ministers like likes of Nathaniel Bassey, and Sion Yekon, these people give. And then what do you think? Do you think gospel entertainers are less in the gospel industry to gospel ministers?
I don't think they are, because we have all been gifted one way or the other, and we are not given the same kind of gift. So you must define your gift and stay on it. So if you are in the gospel entertainment, we have some who combines it, actually. If you are on the gospel entertainment, stay on it and let people know that this is where you are. It doesn't make you less of your person or your giftings or the blessings of God upon you. It doesn't. And if you're a minister, stay on it. Like the likes of the ministers you mentioned now, over time, they've said it, both of them, they don't charge for churches when they minister. They just expect honorarium from you and all of that, And I am also on that pact. If I go to any church now, I don't charge churches. I don't charge. If it's a gospel concert, I also would not charge you, except if we are going into, the entertainment side and all of that. So it doesn't make anyone less of the other, or that maybe one is closer to God than the other. No, I
But
don't
there's a
think so.
huge gap actually in the industry when it comes to gospel ministers and entertainers. You know,
When you say gap, I
people
don't know
tend
where
to
exactly
respect.
in the gospel, right?
Yes.
Do you mean in the gospel, like maybe like churches and all of that?
Generally, people tend to want to exonerate, like, you know, respect, have reference for them, for the
them.
ministers compared to the entertainers, you know. What do you
I,
think?
I understand that's where you're coming from, but I'm still saying it that it doesn't make any one of them less of each other. It doesn't. They all giftings are from God.
Now, you mentioned not charging if you are playing for church. As a gospel musician, you know, that's the only thing you do. You're not into banking, you're not into anything. And, you know, you are invited to a church, you will not charge them. And you're expecting a particular honorarium from them. But unfortunately, they couldn't give it. How do you... Only they live.
Yeah. You see, that's why I said for every gospel artist, you must get it right. You must actually know what you're doing. Because it won't take time. If you're not careful, you'll be messed up.
Does God call gospel artists as well?
Yes, some are
I
actually
could hear
called.
her saying ministers and all that.
Exactly. Some are called.
That's
Some
okay,
are
it's
called.
music
I've
you
heard
do.
Dunsi Oyekon over time say it that is the instruction he was
He
given.
was given, yes.
That the day he goes out of it and does that, that's the day the glory ends.
No,
So
the day he does not sing gospel music.
no. The
anymore.
day he charges. Up until now, he doesn't charge. They had their issues. There was a time Nathaniel said that they went somewhere abroad. He spent all his money and all of that, and they got there and nothing came. Even accommodation, they had issues. They had to come back. So they would
How did they come back from Abuja?
Yeah, he said he had to call people. They had to support him to return with the band. You have to stay on it if that's the instruction you have been given. That's why I said it must be a clear instruction. But it doesn't mean that there won't be challenges. There will be times that I also went through that ladder. Last year I celebrated my 20 years on stage. I also went through a ladder where you would get somewhere, fine, you would expect as band, and you know, nothing comes from it. And you just have to move on because you must follow the instruction you've been given strictly. If tomorrow it changes, it's a business between you and God, and you must clarify it at every point in time.
Now, because I really want to understand, you know, these ministers and entertainers that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Now, if I'm a minister, does that mean that I will not charge because I'm a minister, gospel minister?
No.
If I'm an entertainer, does that mean that I must charge?
That's why I said,
Exactly.
you see, you must, it still boils down to the personality of the person involved. If I am a gospel minister, the minister part, if I am a gospel minister, I don't have the instruction not to charge. I can charge. I have a lot of gospel artists who charge, gospel ministers who charge.
This is what I like to do.
And
this is what I want to do.
So
and if I'm rendering my services to
this
you,
is how much
pay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't really change anything. It doesn't stop anything. But you just must have a principle you are working with as a gospel minister.
Speaking of not charging and the likes, we would both agree that the music industry generally, either gospel, secular, making music is very expensive.
It is.
So how then do gospel music ministers cope with this reality?
Yeah,
You know, making
it
music, making quality music, quality sound, you know, all the logistics that goes into it, and still not charging. How do you face these challenges?
So, like I said, for those who don't charge, you must have a backend somewhere. Backend, I mean both spiritual, and sometimes the spiritual can graduate to even physical, where the Lord will just provide people around you that will just be positioned to sort you out at every point in time. You know, I would not also dispute the fact that it's part of the things that is affecting the gospel music. while our production are not as good because people put, of course, there is more money out there in the secular music than the gospel music. So is
For real?
What, there's a lot of money out there. You know, there's a lot of money there.
I don't know, because the gospel musicians that I see,
I
I feel they are comfortable.
In comparison, is much more.
Maybe they are not out. Maybe they are not in the faces of people like the secular musicians.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to agree with you on that.
Okay, it's fine. But you know, if you put it into ratings, of course, before you get to any gospel artist, you must have mentioned some, especially the hip hop guys. They are making a lot of money. So it's that is why, honestly, you must not go into it for the money. Else, it defeats a lot of purposes at the long run.
So you have to feed your family. Don't forget.
It will come.
For real?
Yes, it will come. I'm making money in music now.
No, don't forget they are in the banking sector.
I of course, I always compare. I joined the bank 2014. I started my own band music 2003.
Okay.
So I've gone through some as well before I started to support
So
myself.
why did you start your band?
And all of that.
I
got into university. I got into university that year, 2003. So I had to leave Madame Lara Adekunle at that point. So I just needed something to express myself the more. And the school I was then were the second set. It was a private university, Bowen University.
Okay.
We're the second set. So there is still need for a lot of, things like that.
Activities.
So, yes. So I stepped into that, and that was how I started.
Okay.
Since then, and we are still there till today.
No, you have a band.
Yeah.
Okay, you formed the band there.
Yes, there.
Okay.
They are still there.
No, I don't understand. They are still, the band is still there.
The band is still in school. They keep,
the band. Okay, now I understand.
handing over to themselves.
Oh, great.
So
that's good. What's the name of that band?
Pillars Communication.
Okay.
And that's where my nickname came from. So every member of the band is Pillars.
A pillar.
Is a pillar. So that's why I'm Pillar. So coming out, I then, did a subsidiary. So I run Pillars Reloaded Band outside. So where I'm the chairman. So that's.
So you used to get in touch with the Pillar band.
I was still there.
The Pillar Communication, rather.
Yes, I was still there last week. They had a
Great.
concert last Friday. This time.
Great.
I was on my way to school.
Great.
That's interesting.
Okay. The new Pillar band, when did it resurface?
That started after I left school. I traveled for my master's, came back. So when I returned in 2013, so I had to transform it because the other guys were in school, and also I had to put something together here. So that was when I started. That was in 2013.
2013. While you traveled, you didn't do any Pillar bands there.
You should.
So you left one there too.
Yes, but they couldn't sustain it. I actually did, but they couldn't sustain it. So for now, we don't have any
over there. Okay, we'll take a break now on the program, the Mid-Morning Show. So we'll be back in a bit.
Thank you.
Still there, gives us joy. It's still the Mid-Morning Show. And that quote of the day on music being an entertainment, they said that without music, life would be a mistake.
I agree.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Our guest is still here. Mr. Odejogirimbe Pilayo, he's still here. And maybe I should throw that at you. Without music, life would be a mistake. How so? Because I'm thinking that without food, life would be a mistake. We would not have car. So how come that without music, life would be a mistake?
There's been a lot of communication with music, right from the creation of the earth, all through, up until now. And one of our greatest fathers, which I like to refer to, which is the psalmist David in the Bible. did a lot of music. And it was recorded for him that when he plays, people get healed. Mad people get healed. The king is worried and is calling David to come and play for him to be okay. That shows the power that is in music right from inception. And you still have it till now. And that's why you see most of our kings, even now, they always have praisers, they always have chanters all around them, just to keep that. If somebody is just talking all through, let it not be music, let it just be talking all through, we'll get tired. We'll get tired. So really, it's really going to
It adds pep to life.
Honestly.
Speaking about your band and how you've been able to recreate your band, reproduce yourself in so many places, how have you been able to manage, the entire thing? How have you been able to do it over the time?
So, I said something earlier that for me, music is passion. So it's what I sleep with, is what I wake with, is what I eat, is one of our fathers said, is so everything I do, when I was still young in the bank, as soon as I stepped into bank, my managers, my supervisors, I always tell them that this is what I do, so that when it is time, because I know there might always be a clash, I would always be able to get an excuse to be able to do my music. And, all through, they've been very supportive. So I think because it's passion for me, I just get to do it. It's like a mandate. I just must do it. So that is the strength from within that has carried me all through.
Would you leave your banking job to do music full time?
I'm not the owner of the bank. At the long run, we will do that.
Okay.
No, you may decide to have your own bank now. So
yeah, sure. When we get there, but music at 90, I'll still be singing.
Wow.
As God
Amen.
permits.
Amen. Amen to that.
Amen.
Even to 120. Amen to that.
Thank you.
Okay, now you started music from childhood.
Yes.
You said from CNS Church.
Yes.
Okay, then you moved to Baptist. Now, how has music or songs in CNS, how has it helped your development in music and the synergy between that church and the other one you are in now?
I thank God for my background in the CNS. Till today, I'm always so grateful to God, because the rudiment of music I learned from there. Right from when we do the
Kunkolo,
and the bell, the counting. Those things, till now are still very helpful, because as a musician, you must be able to hear well. And those places that is where our ears were trained to be able to do all of that. So I really appreciate God for that. Now, the transformation was, for me, it was easy, because these are just denominations. At the end of the day, they are still churches. Yes. So, and the same thing applies when I was outside this country as well. I still did music. I still became the head of a choir in another denomination. So it's music. It's general, like it cuts across. It's a general language. So I didn't have issues with the transformation. As long as what I'm speaking out glorifies God, it will flow anywhere.
Speaking of glorifying God, what do you think about the recent trend now where gospel artists, sample some secular music, they use the same beats and everything, then they sing it as gospel music, and then they say, oh, so far we are still worshiping God. But then you can see that, oh, this is a song by another secular artist, being sung. What do you think about this new trend?
Let me establish here that every gift a man has, we're all created by God. Every gift a man has, either you are using it either ways, maybe out there doing hip hop, doing secular, or you are doing gospel, every gift is from God. After establishing that, I want to say that, you know, this thing calls for a personal relationship with God and the one that has given you the gift. So if I convert a song, maybe use their beat, maybe I just remove the lyrics and put it there as and then turn it to gospel. Well, for me, as long as you feel good in your spirit to do that, is up to you. That's why I said it's very personal. And it's up to your followers as well to be able to, you know, judge as to, okay, why did this person do this? Well, we've seen some that have sounded better than the secular one or the original one that was done. You understand? Even some has so entered the church that you might even forget that that's where it came from. You understand? So I wouldn't want to stand here and judge anybody that's, no, why would you change is wrong and all that. It's a personal thing. And it's left to followers or listeners, let me put it like that, to, you know, take it in or... that's why I said there's a thin line. You know, I was talking about the thin line between that entertainers and the ministers. It's a very thin line. And it's easy to fall off it. But let me say, I will not do it.
Okay, now, we were talking about knowing music. CNS taught you, you know, to have listening ears, to be able to discern and all that. What other things must we do to understand music?
Okay, a good musician, one, must be a good listener because you must be able to hear the music properly. If you are graced to learn any musical instrument, fine. If not, the other thing you can also do is, you know, people also learn from working on their intuition, their inner mind.
Inner mind.
Their inner mind. That's where most of these things comes from. So they are able to, you know, especially for composers, if you're able to know how you take it in from, I mean, bring out your expression from inside, then it will help you. And that comes with innovation. So a good musician who wants to be a composer must be able to innovate. So that's one other thing that will be helpful.
Do you play any musical instrument?
Just the percussion. But you know, over time, I didn't stay on it. I dwelled more on the vocals. So
okay.
I've lost touch now. But you know, we are still carrying on.
Excuse me. Now, they say that if you don't play any music, you are just a singer. You're not a musician.
Yeah, there's that.
So,
all right.
There's only when you play these instruments that you're a musician. How true?
You see, for those that went to school and studied like musicologists, they bring all of that to us in that manner. But you know, music is in parts, and someone who is into vocals, you can't say the person is not a musician, and then you call the person just a singer. Because some of the times, even these vocals are able to control and give innovation to those that play the instrument. One very good example is Brother Binga. He does all the do-re-mi, he does all the... out of the listening and the experiences he has had. So you find out that instrumentalists would play to that which he's saying, or he himself can't play.
Cannot play.
So
I think we've had him here before too.
Yes.
All right. Your band, Pillar Ayo. Have you told us why you are Pillar?
Okay. Okay, it's from the name of the group. The name of the group.
Why did you name the group Pillar?
Pillars Communication. Thank you. So when I was going to start in 2003, like I said, it was a December program, and I called 3 other people with me. We were 4, and I said, we need to the program we're about to have, we need to have a name.
That's from your,
we need to,
your fellowship.
It's not, we don't run a fellowship. It's a Christian school. It's Bowen University, so so it's, everybody goes to chapel. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, your denomination or religion, it doesn't matter. So everybody goes to the chapel. So they were having that December program, and you know, where people will signify to want to present one thing or the other. So I signified as well. While that was going on, and I was ruminating and trying to seek God's face as to what do we call ourselves and all, then I got the inspiration and the name from Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 18. Paraphrased, the Lord told Jeremiah that I have made you a defense city and an iron pillar. Okay. That got to me, and I got stuck there. An iron pillar, a pillar, a pillar. And I got the name from there. So, you know, and over time, I have seen the move of God and the name and how he has helped us till now. So that's where the name came from. And we had to make it communication, because when it began to grow, it was just a pillars group. When it began to grow, I had with me...
What level were you at that time?
100 level.
Wow, that's great.
100 level. So when I started to bring people together, I had people who could dance. I had people who could act. I had people who could write. I had people who could do a lot of things. I felt, okay, let's put all these things under one umbrella, and everybody can express their gifts. So that's where we came about Pillars Communication. So we do drama, it was a large group, so we're close to 100 then. So we had to really put that into departments so that it can work out.
And all the units are still intact, even now?
Yes, though in smaller numbers, not like when we were there, but the groups are still there, and the units are still there.
Your band, is it an all-male band, or it's both male and female?
It's both male and female. I have just 2 female, others are male.
Okay. So how do you make up time for rehearsals, despite being a banker and a family man, you know? How do you balance everything all together?
It's been God's grace, I won't lie to you, because a lot of times I leave work, I'm back at one program or the other. I've been to one rehearsal, do all night, then again back home, you know, like that. It's not been easy, but it's been God's grace also. I left home this morning. I won't see my kids until tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Oh, you have a play somewhere?
I have a program all night tonight.
Wow.
So
They've been used to that by now.
Yes, the family understand that, and they've been very supportive. My wife and my kids.
How about work?
Yes, for work, like I said, you know, even before I became a manager, I've always included my supervisors along the line if there's need for that. So even now that I'm a manager, you know, it's all about calling my team. Okay, this is what I have. This is what we need to do. And I think that's where my leadership skills come into play, where you, as a leader, you must be able to influence people, create yourself in them. Not when I left. I left from work now. So, and the work is not stopping. There are people there.
So you're already prepared them. They know what to do and all that.
And that's how.
You don't have to be in their faces all the time.
Exactly.
I'm breathing down their necks.
That's how to you know, mark or some leaders, like define leadership sometimes. You must be able to, you know, influence people, and also create yourself in them. And that's it.
Okay, we'll take another break actually on the mid-morning show. But don't forget that our guest will still be in the house, Mr. Odeji Ogedengbe, also known as Pillar Ajo. But then when we return, you know, to this set, we'll be talking about the album you've had. I think you have one already. Yeah. So we'll talk about that album, what inspired you, the challenges you went through, and all that. We'll be back. All right then, welcome back. It's still the mid-morning show, and I told you that our guest hasn't left.
Yeah,
He's
still
still
very
here
much
with
with
us.
us.
Yes, Mr. Odeji Ogedegbe, also known as Pila Ayo. But then the quote, Neil Stephenson said that all the lalakoko fefe you've been doing about, when you have everything, every other thing is just, secondary. It's just entertainment. So it means that you just pipe low, take things easy.
Calm down.
Calm down. Exactly. Calm down.
Like I said in the beginning,
At the
rest.
beginning, yeah. You have to rest. We are not saying don't struggle, don't hustle, But then when you get them, somebody was saying that if you steal 1 trillion or something, that's when they should kill you. But if you steal 1 million, they should leave you. So it means that we should just be stealing 1 million now.
I mean, and avoid being killed.
Exactly. So when this 1 million, by next week, I'll go and steal another 1 million. That kind of a thing. All right. Before we went on that break, I said that when we return, we'll be talking about Mr. Ogedengbe's album that he had. Now, you had the album. What inspired you to make an album?
Thank you so much. When I started then, 2003, by 2006, that's like the third year, we wanted to have a concert.
Okay.
So we put the concert together, and of course, we're like, let's do our original music. So I did my own compositions for the concert, and the concert was tagged Sacrifice of Praise, Ebokwe. So we had the tracks, we did all the footage and all of that. So we started having that like every 2 years. And each time we have it, I try to put music together according to the theme of the program, and we would have it. So just before I traveled, I just thought of it that all these songs that we have been composing, I think we need to push it out. Let's put it together and push it out. And that was what brought inspiration. That's why the album was called Sacrifice of Praise, Ebokwe. Yes.
Okay, so how many songs are on the album?
We had 5 songs, but our own 5 songs is not the 3 minutes for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll do a stretch, like 7, 8 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Away
So
from the title of the album,
5.
does that mean all the songs on the album are Yoruba songs?
No, we had one English song. And that was because, I maybe from my background and all of that, I'm into more of the traditional, the Yoruba thing is more for me.
Due to your CNS background.
That's why I said that, from my background and all that. And now it's really unique because that's what it's selling now. Even if you go to the topmost Pentecostal churches where it's English all through, gospel artists will go there and do the Yoruba, and it will still enter very well.
And do the Bata dance.
Yes,
and all that.
and it still enter very well. So it has cut across now, thank God. And that's why I also said that it was easy for me to switch. So when I was outside this country, anytime it's an African praise, they know who to call. They know who to call. Yes. So because we do a lot of street praise, we do a lot of concert there and all of that. So it's really staying on your track. So that was it. So even the English song was inspired by my brother. I have a younger brother who's also with me. We do music together. So that was inspired by him, mostly. I only did the arrangements and all. It was really his music. We just put it together in the album.
Okay.
Now, while you were preparing for the album, there will be some challenges you faced and all that. So let's talk about them, so that the upcoming and those who want to do their own albums to know what to look out for and how to be able to surmount them.
Yes, one of the things, the first thing is you must have a good sound engineer. You must get a good sound engineer, and then a good studio where they can actually put these things together, because when you are doing music, really, it can't be only you. Fine, you might have put the lyrics together, you might have put the way you feel it sounds to you, but as people play it, as people hear it, your sound engineer, your instrumentalist, I feel, okay, let's have this. Why don't you do it like this, tilt it like this? So you must be in an environment, the people around you must also be as innovative and not losing your purpose of what you want to do. So one of the challenges we had then, it took time to get a good place for me, a good studio, though it has improved now. Then it was really, we didn't have more of that, but now a lot of people have
when did the album come
studio. 2009.
Oh, it means you have to do a remix?
Yes, we did a remix, but by the time we were going to do the remix, when I returned, that was in 2015. By the time we were going to do a remix, we broke the songs down, because the idea of album was fading out. People were doing singles. So we had to break it and release it in singles.
Okay.
So that was what happened. Then we did a video shoot as well with it, which I uploaded on YouTube.
Talking about the old album thing, back then it used to be CDs and everything, but now we have streaming platforms and all that. So your songs, are they like on streaming platforms?
Yes, it was after we now did a remix that we did put them on the streaming platforms. It used to be, it was in a CD then. That we even sold abroad, we sold here and all. So, but music has transformed. So even now, I'm not likely going to do any more singles. Any more album. I would rather do singles. And recently I've released 2 other singles last year. I released one shortly after the coronavirus, which I called Corona Thanksgiving. And it was just a Thanksgiving song, appreciating God for seeing us through that period. Because a lot of people died, and we are still alive. Then after I did another one, which was Advance. Now, Advance is also an inspiration for the church I'm attending now. It was a theme for one of the years, and I felt one of the messages of the pastors, I just scribbled things down, and, I made it into music.
Music came out of it, some lyrics came out of that.
Yeah, so now I think I can mix both. After testing, both Yoruba and English. After testing in both my abilities in both lines. So I think I can mix it now. But it doesn't remove the fact that I'm an original Yoruba person. Yeah.
You mentioned something about transformation of music. How do you mean?
I think I was talking about how people make music now. In fact, it keeps changing per time, because now what people do is, since they can just go live, so they have a small song, a small chorus, 1 or 2, they've just composed, they just go live, sing it there, and it goes viral. So that's why now, if you notice, there are a lot of short choruses that are from different artists that are everywhere. That's because we have gotten to a stage where people just go live, the social media stage where people just go live, release that short chorus, and boom, they are done. Also, talking about live as well, going live on social media as well, you see collaborations from artists, and they just call the artist to come and sing a verse on this song, and during that period, it just becomes a chorus and is out. So you hardly see people do album now. So that's how it's just moving with the trend.
Yeah, but would it not affect the music industry or the studio managers or whatever?
What's been happening is you still need to go to the studio, because even the live music are done from the studio.
Okay.
Like even the shout outs we do now, the greetings, all those birthday greetings that we do with music now, we still go to the studio. So a sound engineer will still be eating.
Okay.
They will still, it doesn't remove them.
But, what about the music industry itself? I just go in there, drop some 3 minutes music, and that's it, goes viral. Would it not affect the music industry that way? Because everybody is just coming up with
it's good. The more the merrier. The Yorubas will say "Ojú ọ̀run tẹ́yẹ fò." So it's as long as you stay in your purpose. That's what is it for me. So let's everybody develop your gift. I still told them in Bowen last week. I said that if there is anything within you must birth, please ensure you birth it early, so that it will help. Because I just looked back and I looked at it like, man, all these years and we are still here. What if I didn't do it then? How will I feel now? I might not even be able to see the picture ahead that this is what is going to happen, because everybody was blessed at the program and all. So it's not if you're called to do it, if you feel you can do it, just follow it right, do it, and it won't stop anything. As many as people are, we have different graces, we have different gifts. Just discover yours and push it out.
Is that not where it crosses the entertainer and the minister? Coming back to that question. When everybody, you have the liberty to do whatever you want. Is that not where it crosses itself, being a minister, being an entertainer? I want people to enjoy what I'm doing, and I become an entertainer in gospel.
If you want to stay as an entertainer in gospel, stay there. That's what I'm saying. Stay there. Let people know you that this is what you do. I mean, it doesn't. If you want to be a minister, a full minister, stay there and be the full minister that you want to be. If you are combining both, just recognize that there's a thin line in between and ensure that you don't cross it. I've been to parties where people were just rounding up, and I just do some worship songs, and everywhere we just see scatter again. Party. It's party we come to do now and all. But it's just what it is. It's just what you carry, and it can manifest anywhere. You understand? So I feel for it could be upcoming, it could be trying to discover yourself. Just ensure that you discover that. Precisely discover what you want to do.
So how do you advise someone who wants to be a gospel music minister in regards discovering themselves, what they actually want to do, either entertainment or what advice do you have?
I think firstly, like for me, I have a background in it, I grew in it, but there was still a point of discovery that, okay, can I actually do this thing? Because like I said, we are called differently. There are some that just stay in the choir. Just take that alto.
They are not meant to be out there being...
So that's why I said it's very personal. All these things, very, very personal.
There's some people do not know that. Once they're in the choir, it's time for them to go.
Exactly.
So one of my ministers that I've met, like in the course of my journey, said something that if you don't wait or you miss that part, maybe you think because the way this person is going, the way this person is doing, I also want to do. If you miss it, you have shot yourself in the leg because you won't be able to go far. That's what it is.
Okay, at the beginning, during the documentary, we saw Mike Abdullah and I said, this guy must be taking something. That energy.
Yeah.
Do you use that energy as well, when you're on air?
Yes, music is a spirit, like I said. And people always say that as gentle as this man is, when he holds the mic, so the
spirit of that mic, I believe God's spirit will just fall on you. That anointing
just comes, and I could finish now, and I'm back to my
normal gentle.
So when we're there, we must express, because what you carry as a leader, as a lead person, there is what will flow through everybody that is listening to you. So if the energy is not coming from you, there are some that the energy is not in the body. The energy is actually in the vocal. That when they sing, they can stand at a point and not jump around, but you'll be feeling it in your as goosebumps in your body. So it's just, yes, the energy comes at that point, and the Lord has been